Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn. Today's deck is our very first Duskmourn brew coming out of early access, and I wanted to hurry up and try this deck really quick before it was absolutely everywhere on YouTube, because absolutely everybody is going to try a version of this deck, and I expect it to be just everywhere pretty soon, and I wanted to make sure we got ours up first. This one is called Line Dance, and we are just absolutely breaking Leyline of Resonance and putting it through the ringer and decimating our opponents during early access by getting double spells right out of the gate for no extra mana. It's insane. But our version of the deck goes one step further and actually introduces Leyline of the Guildpact into the equation so that we have access to Domain, so that we have Gaia's Might as a 1 mana +5/+5 instant speed spell that can also be doubled by the Leyline of Resonance. So the deck is bananas. Before we break it down, make sure you like the video if you haven't already. Every single like helps this video get out to more people, and these videos are a ton of work, so I would appreciate it greatly. Also subscribe if you're new so you never miss an upload. Tons of crazy content on the way. We're going to have at least one deck tech dropping every single day. In fact, I think we're going to have another one dropping today later on. Double up on them since it's the first day of early access. I want to get these decks out to you guys, so look forward to that. And make sure you join me on Twitch. If you see this the day it goes up, I am live streaming a 24-hour marathon stream over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/quarantinedcapricorn, because if I'm alive and I'm breathing, I'm there and I'm streaming. This video has been brought to you by Wonders of the First, but I'll tell you about that later. Let's break down the deck. Alright, so Leyline of Resonance is completely broken, and the idea behind this deck is to use it to get as efficiently as we can turn 2 kills, or as a backup plan, turn 3 kills, and I think this deck might get it done. So first of all, we've got Leyline of Resonance. This is 4 mana, 2 red and 2. It is a Leyline, so if it starts in your opening hand, it gets to start on the battlefield without having to pay for it at all, which is crazy because of what it does. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only a single creature you control, you copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So the idea here is to go completely crazy with prowess, bumping up a creature to do enough damage to kill them in one swing on turn 2. And the way we make it work as early as turn 2 is with something like Heartfire Hero, 1 mana for a 1/1 mouse soldier with Valiant. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time, put a +1/+1 counter on it, which is going to add a little bit of extra damage. But the real kicker here is when Heartfire Hero dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. That means all we need to do is do 1/3 of the damage that we need to kill them completely, so 7, through combat, and then the other 7, 1/3, can be done when this thing dies by doing it straight to the opponent, and the final 7 to get us to at least 21 damage happens via Burn Together. 1 red mana for a sorcery adventure. It's the adventure on Callous Sell-Sword. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any other target and then sacrifice it. Because we have this death trigger that allows us to do damage equal to power to the opponent, it means we don't have to, get this thing up to a 10/1 just to kill them outright. Instead, we only need to get it up to a 7/1, which is way easier, especially with Leyline of Resonance. So the idea is to play spells on turn 2, double them up with Leyline of Resonance, get this thing to at least 7 power, smash in, and then sacrifice it to Callous Sell-Sword. Now, another backup plan, if we don't have the Burn Together from Callous Sell-Sword, is we've got Cacophony Scamp. This is an alternate 1-drop instead of the Heartfire Hero, because even though it's not going to get extra buffs from like Valiant triggers like the Heartfire Hero does, when this deals damage, you're allowed to sacrifice it to itself to do damage equal to its power to any target. So with Cacophony Scamp, you do need to get the power higher, but you don't need the Burn Together, right? This is one where you can get it to 10, hit in for 10, and then just sacrifice it to itself to do the other 10. So having both options on the battlefield at the same time actually gives you a lot more consistency in being able to pull off one or the other. But speaking of consistency, Leyline of Resonance in your opening hand, it's not always going to happen. You can only have 4 copies of these, so we're also running 4 Leyline of the Guildpact. Why does this matter? Because it's going to give us Domain for no mana right off the bat, which means we can run 4 copies of 𝐻𝐿𝑒𝑦𝑙𝑒 for just 1 mana at instant speed. This will give our critter +5/+5 without having to spend any extra mana to play that Leyline of the Guildpact out at all. And in some situations, if we have both the Leyline of the Guildpact and the Leyline of Resonance in our opening hand, on turn 2, we could play 1 𝐻𝐿EVY𝑒 and buff a creature +10/+10 just by itself, not even counting possible Valiant triggers and other shenanigans, and then still have 1 mana left over to do whatever we want. So the ability to consistently get our chances to go up by having Leyline of the Guildpact and 𝐻𝐿EVY𝑒 in the deck, I think are absolutely worth the inclusion of those cards. Then again, if you wanted to be safer, you could stick to just a mono red deck and not run the risk of that situation. There is a small chance you could draw a 𝐻𝐿EVY𝑒 and then never see the Leyline of the Guildpact, and it wouldn't be that good. We do have a bunch of ways of turning it on in the mana base. We're running 4 Thran Portals to help us get extra, extra land types so that we can at least get it to like a +1 or a +2 or something. But the thing about this deck is sometimes, even if the 𝐻𝐿EVY𝑒 is a dead card, just casting it so that you can get triggers, so that you can get prowess triggers, a Valiant trigger on the Heartfire Hero, stuff like that, sometimes that can still be enough. It's definitely not plan A or even plan B, but it's not completely useless even if you don't have Domain turned on. But let's talk about the bottom of the curve. So we're starting off with the 4 Heartfire Heroes and the 4 Cacophony Scamps on 1. We want one of those out as soon as possible, turn 1 as possible, whenever possible, to set us up for the turn 2 kill. But just to add a little bit more consistency for when we don't have those in our opening hand, we do have a 9th 1-drop in the form of 1 Monastery Swiftspear. I think this is probably the next best thing to use. And then we have a bunch of alternate spells to cast to get our creatures buffed to where they need to be in conjunction with the Leyline. We've got 4 Might of the Meek, and even though this only gives a +1/+0 to something if it's a mouse, so it only works particularly well with the Heartfire Hero, it does draw us a card. So if we're able to play Might of the Meek on a turn where we do have Leyline of Resonance in play, we get to draw 2 cards and increase our chances of drawing into something that is going to get a lot more value when we cast it. So that's pretty nuts. We've also got 4 Monstrous Rage because it's just the best 1-drop instant buff spell in the format, +2/+0 and a monster roll token, although you do want to be careful that you target different creatures with this so that you get to keep all of the monster roll tokens if you have the option to do that. We've got 4 Turn Inside Out, which is a brand new card. 1 mana for an instant, just gives a straight up +3/+0 until end of turn, which is pretty good by itself. But also, when the creature dies, you manifest Dread. A lot of times you get set up for a turn 2 win combo, but they have a blocker, and they are able to just kind of eke out surviving and trading with your creatures, since all of our spells are just mostly increasing the power, not really the toughness. So if they can trade with their creature, but you had trample and you got through for a bunch of damage, just not quite enough because they soaked up some of it on the block, this is going to replace it with another creature by manifesting Dread, so that next turn you can attack, play more buff spells, and get in for that last bit of damage, and that makes Turn Inside Out way better than it otherwise would be. The manifesting Dread absolutely matters, especially if you hit another creature that you can turn face up. If you manifest Dread and you end up hitting a Heartfire Hero or a Cacophony Scamp or a Slickshot Show-Off, being able to turn that up the next turn before you play your spells can absolutely get you a turn 3 kill, so that's really nice. And then we have just 1 more green buff spell in the form of just 1 copy of Giant Growth, just to add some consistency on how many spells we can play. Sometimes you just need that 1 more spell to buff your dudes to get the win, and just having 1 extra spell in the deck that we can draw into when we're out of gas kind of makes the difference with the math, I feel. And then obviously in the 2-drop slot, we've got 4 Slickshot Show-Offs. Now, there's no way for Slickshot Show-Off to get us a turn 2 kill, but having 4 copies of this does greatly increase the consistency of getting a turn 3 kill, and that matters hugely, because we're gonna get turn 2 kills when we can, but turn 3 kills when we can't, that's going to be crucial in making the deck be as consistent as it needs to be worth running. One thing I want to note about this deck before we go into the games is we're not really running any protection. You could run instants and sorceries that give hexproof, stuff like Snakeskin Veil and that sort of thing. That would make the deck more resilient, be able to dodge removal, but it would also increase the kill clock, and a version of that deck might be right at some point down the line. But for day one, early access, I wanted to double down on the potential of the turn 2 kill and see how quickly and how efficiently we could get there, and I think this version of the deck does that. Mana base is 4 Thran Portals so that we can help turn on a little bit of domain for 𝐻𝐿e𝑖𝑛𝑒. Also, losing life in this deck because it's so aggressive doesn't really matter, so there's no reason not to. And then we've got the 1 mountain to go alongside that. We've got just 1 Thornspire Verge, which is really, really nice, one of the new lands. It can make red mana no matter what, which is awesome because you can play it on turn 1, get your red mana, and then turn 2 you could drop a mountain or a Thran Portal and then immediately be able to get double green if you need it. Play 2 𝐻𝐿e𝑖𝑛𝑒 on turn 2 after playing a red drop on turn 1. So the lines you can get and the way the deck curves out, it's really, really interesting, and Thornspire Verge actually allows you to do that because the red doesn't require a stipulation, which is awesome. But in addition, we're running 4 Karplusan Forest, 4 Copperline Gorge, 4 Blackcleave Cliffs, just to get access to some of the other colors of mana, just in case. Doesn't really happen so often that we need it, but it can pop up from time to time if you are out of gas, out of creatures, and you get to play your Callous Sell-Sword to the field and get in for the last points of damage with that. Sometimes it can make all the difference in the world. So this is the deck. It gets turn 2 wins consistently, it gets turn 3 wins when it doesn't, and Leyline of Resonance needs to be banned. It just needs to be banned. So Wizards, do that. But let's check out the games. Before we do, this deck has been brought to you by Wonders of the First. I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Wonders of the First. Wonders of the First is a brand new collectible card game similar to games like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, featuring a unique action-based resource economy that helps avoid pitfalls like mana flood or mana screw, and a battlefield containing multiple realms that unlock over time as you fight for control of the stones. The first 400 card set is called Existence and will launch to retail in the fall, but playtest team starter kits are available to order now. And they haven't forgotten about all you collectors out there. The game contains alternate borderless art variants, as well as highly sought after limited edition numbered prints, culminating in a 1-of-1 stone foil. And the best part is that the developers have a community-first approach, with 8 print-and-play decks available on their website, as well as a version of the game available on Tabletop Simulator, all for free. For more information, be sure to check out wondersccg.com today. That's wondersccg.com. Do we keep this? No, we have no creatures. We have way more lands than we need. Let's yeah, we keep this. I don't even care that we only have one land. What do we get rid of? Probably Monstrous Rage? No. You know what? We get rid of Leyline of the Guildpact. We just don't need it. We just don't need it. Let's rock! Will do, gods. Thank you for the heads up, my friend. Alright, we're gonna put both Leyline of Resonances into play. Start with a Thran Portal for red and play a Heartfire Hero. And then maybe win next turn. Alright, we'll start with a Might of the Meek. Draw some cards. Draw a whole bunch of cards. Let's rock! Play you. We're gonna swing with the Heartfire Hero. We don't have a way to sacrifice it. Let's rock! So 5, 11, Not quite where we want to be, right? So let's just do Might of the Meek again to draw more cards. So we'll draw 2 more cards off of Might of the Meek. And hit for 7. That's fine. And then next turn we probably just win, right? Audacity, sure. I guess starting with a Ward 2 creature on turn 1 is pretty good regardless of the other ability. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we just win. We just win, right? Yeah, we just win. We don't even need to sacrifice the Heartfire Hero. We still just win. Insult to injury. They're gonna ban this card, right? They have to ban this card, right? Yeah. They have to ban this card, right? I mean... Alright, we'll keep this. This looks good. Start with the Cliffs. We'll go Show-Off on 2. The plot thickens. Having 2 burn togethers is kind of a bummer, though. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Do you have a cut down, sir? No? Alright, that's a lot of trample damage. It's not quite enough to kill, though. Guess we just end the turn. Kind of a bummer. Actually... Now that I think about it, I think we could have got the win there. If we just pile up burn togethers, we get multiple prowess triggers, double prowess triggers, I guess, off Slickshot, and buff up its power before we actually sacrifice it to do the damage. So I think we could have actually won. Yeah, I think we could have actually won. Which is crazy. And you're dead. And you're dead. Wow. Ban the card, please. Ban it. Ban it. I don't want it. Alright, we've got 1 land, but we've got the Guildpact and the Gaia's Might. We don't have the Leyline of Resonance, but that's fine. Let's try it. Let's see if it works without Resonance. Because the idea of adding Guildpact and Gaia's Might is to sort of increase the chances of... We'll start with Heartfire Hero, because I want to use Might of the Meek to draw. But we want to increase our chances of getting the turn 2 kill. And And even in games where we don't start with a Leyline of Resonance in play, if we have the Leyline of the Guildpact and the 𝐻𝐿𝑒𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑦, that can partially make up for it. Alright, we do have a Thran Portal. So we're going to go Might of the Meek. And then we'll play this for red. And we'll play a Scamp. Not going to get the turn 2 win here, but we should very easily get turn 3. Very, very easily. If he plays a blocker, we're probably going to use the Monstrous Rage. Oh, we can just use everything. Crazy. Crazy. Alright, turn inside out. Cut down, huh? 𝐻𝐿𝑒𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑦. No cut down for you. And then Monstrous Rage. We want to target the Heartfire Hero with something. So we'll do that. That's 15. Take action. Submit one. Oh, we also get to proliferate that guy. That's even better. Oh, man. Manifest Dread another Heartfire Hero and put you at -7. That seems fair. What do we got here? Nothing but slick shots. I think we mulligan. You know what? We'll try keeping this. We'll try keeping this. We put back the burn together? Right? We need this to be green. So we need you to come down for red so that we can play the Scamp. Man, these lands are so good. Being able to get our red mana on turn 1 means we can play Thran Portal as a forest. And then we just 𝐻𝐿𝑒𝑦𝑙𝑒𝑦. Good game. Oh my god. You got to play a forest. You got to play a forest. That's it. Alright. There are going to be bannings, right? There have to be. I don't think we keep this. Mulligan. This is better. Still don't know if it's good enough. But we're going to try it. Let's keep 6. Let's put back Sell-Sword. Start with the Guildpact. Play you and the Heartfire Hero. I don't think this is enough. It's going to be 5, 10, 15. Yeah, this won't be enough. This will not be enough. But let me think. We could do this. Get a counter. Then this. And the reason that we still want to do that is because we get to Manifest Dread, although we didn't hit one of our creatures, which is kind of a bummer. But we have a creature left to replace it that we can theoretically burn together again. So even when we're kind of like not getting the god play we want, we're still doing it. you know? Manifest Dread, sure. We're going to need to play this other Callous Sword and play a bit more of the long game. We can do 2 damage at any point in time. Something to keep in mind. Leyline of Resonance? Really? Well, we're gonna swing in. Do we get him to 1? We do. Get him to 1. Play the Sell-Sword. Comes in as a 4/4 for 2 mana, and then we just need a way to punch through for that last point of damage. At least even if we top deck a land, we can play the Leyline of Resonance. That's not what we want. We are running out of gas, but it's not nothing. So the only dead card would be another Leyline. Alright, sacrifice the rat. Welcome to the stream, Mathis. Figures. We're gonna have to pass the turn. Wait till we draw something. So close, though. So close. I will say this, if he tries to sacrifice his own creature, we're gonna turn inside out it. In response. Well, I guess technically you can't respond to a sacrifice if it's a cost, right? If we get an opportunity to make sure we hit one of his creatures with a turn inside out before it dies, we're gonna do it. Next to blockers. So I guess we make sure we kill the piggy bank. Because we get to Manifest Dread, and that's not the worst thing ever. We really want to hit a creature, though. Ah, no creature. That's frustrating. But at least we have a dude on the board. That's the important part. Funeral Room. Uh-oh, he's gonna start gaining that life back as his things die. Okay. I mean, we still kind of have to do this, right? And then we just set ourselves up to hopefully next turn top deck a spell. If it's the Rage, to get Trample. Or a Burn Together. Well, not so much Burn Together anymore. He went up to 3 because of the Funeral Room. Yeah, that thing's going to be a pain in the butt. We're still so close, though. We're still so close. Well, the attacks right now are just to keep his side clear. before he gets out more value that he can get off of losing the things. Because clearly he's playing an Aristocrats build. So the sooner we get the creatures off the table, the less death triggers, the less synergies he'll be able to trigger as those things die later, if he gets out like a second Funeral Room or something similar.
Let's run!
No blocks. Hey, thank you for the gift sub, Mathis. Greatly appreciated. Oh, we top deck our second Resonance. Well, I guess that's one of the risks that you run when playing this deck, right? Restless Vents and Undead Sprinter come in. We'll take the damage, it's fine. There are so many cards that just win this for us if we top deck them. Another Undead Sprinter. Another Cacophony Scamp, okay. Well, it's not nothing. It's not nothing, right? Menace dude. That's 7. That's 7. Sure. We have to keep one or we have no chance whatsoever. And killing his guys is not good because he actually gains life. So we just need to hope for the top deck. That's it. Gaia's Might. But we don't have Trample. Does he have a first striker? If he had a first striker, we could still win. Possibly. What a bummer. What a bummer. I guess that's what happens sometimes. I guess that's what happens sometimes. Alright, we've got the Leyline, we've got both creatures, we've got 2 targeting spells. This is perfect. This is literally perfect. We want the Scamp because we don't have a way to sacrifice our hero. Here we go. 2 mana for an Archaeologist. It's kind of funny that if we were on the go, we would have won right now. But now he's got a blocker. And that is a problem. Let's just plot this guy. Set it up for a turn 3 win. I think that's probably fine. Haughty chin. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay. That's it? Are you insane? This man's insane. Double Monstrous Rage. Turn inside out. And both of them will target the Scamp this time. Get you to 5. Sack the Scamp. And 10 damage. And we get to manifest Dread a bunch of times too. Manifest a Slickshot, sure. Manifest a Sell-Sword. Alright. Alright, I guess we just win. That seems fine. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things. I wasn't recording! Oh god, I wasn't recording.